France 24's Armen Georgian is in Brussels. Armen, good evening. Biden said America was back on the table. What does that mean?
President Biden's message is that America is back. And that applies, of course, to this NATO summit as much as it does to the G7 in Cornwall. The mood here, certainly in the NATO leadership, is very positive. The NATO boss, Jens Stoltenberg, telling France 24 that he is delighted that President Biden says he's so committed to the transatlantic alliance, and Stoltenberg actually spoke to Joe Biden this Monday. He says that President Biden has assured him that the US is willing to invest more in NATO, so that's all very upbeat so far. Now, of course, this doesn't mean that there won't be tensions between the US and other NATO members, just as there were during the Obama-Biden years over issues such as Afghanistan. At the moment, one of the things that has caused a few jitters in the alliance is the US decision to pull out of Afghanistan, and there's a lot of concern about what comes next. Also, the issue of energy security. There's, I think, a perception in some quarters that President Biden perhaps didn't feel a sense of urgency about the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, but overall the mood is very positive, and there seems to be a willingness to try and find a consensus, particularly on arms control issues, so that President Biden can, as it were, speak on behalf of NATO on that issue when he meets Vladimir Putin in Geneva later in the week.
Armen, another big topic on the agenda will be China. What's NATO's approach here?
Well, China was addressed directly at the NATO summit in 2019, which was a shift, actually. I was covering that summit just outside London, and it was at the behest of Donald Trump that the question of China was addressed directly for the first time. There is, of course, some continuity on the issue of China between the Trump and Biden administrations, and equally other NATO members are also very concerned about, for example, joint Russian-Chinese military exercises. They're concerned about the fact that the Chinese Navy has made its way into the Mediterranean. That was a first in 2015. They're concerned also, of course, about all the cyber-related issues and artificial intelligence. It will be interesting to see whether a more robust language is adopted on China this time than in previous NATO gatherings. I understand that Britain, France, and the US will be pushing for that kind of language, but it's going to be difficult, I think, to get all 30 NATO members on board, because there are some NATO members that have not such bad relations with China. So finding a consensus there might not be that easy. We'll have to see.
France 24's Armen Georgian reporting to us live from Brussels ahead of the beginning of that NATO summit, which is due to begin tomorrow in the Belgian capital.